All right, good night. This is tonight is what, Friday, February 25th. Welcome to Conversation with Rickford Burke. Share the link. You know the drill. Share the link. Text me. Let me know you're watching from, whether you're watching from Europe, Africa. I don't want to say Asia, but whether you're watching from Asia, whether you're watching from Russia, Ukraine, wherever. Share the link. I hope you're having a good day. Text me. Let me know where you're watching from. Tonight's program would be very short. I don't want to stay long. I just wanted to button up the week and button up uh, the activities of last night when we were out there in the cold, cold, cold weather. So share the link, get into all your guidance groups, whether it's on Twitter, get into your contacts on IG, on YouTube, on Facebook, and WhatsApp, wherever. Share this link. I'll be back in what, 60 seconds? Share the link. And text me, let me know you're watching from. You know, I'm from Equitable, Bartica, Equitable, so I like to know that my Barticians are watching. So share the link, call up all the Barticians everywhere, let them know that Rickford Burke, Conversation with Rickford Burke is on. I'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, keep sharing the link. Keep sharing the link. Get into all your groups. Share the link on, like I said, on Twitter. Share the link on Facebook, in your messenger group, on Instagram, on YouTube, in your emails. Send out your email blasts. Get into your WhatsApp group. Send it to all your contacts. Uh, Tonight is going to be very short. As I said, I want to talk about the protest last night. Keep sharing the link. As you know, we had a protest last night. Just under 100 people came out. It was very cold. Like I said, it was around 19 degrees with a wind chill. And but nevertheless, I want to thank everybody that came out, all the members of our community, all the members of CGID, all the members of GORE, all the members of the PNCR that came out. Thank you very much. We are committed to doing this. We like the post office, whether it rains or shines, it snows, whether there's sleet or whatever. Smeltering 110 degrees weather, we will be there to protest against the PPP, installed PPP racist regime. So keep sharing the link, keep sharing the link. And I want to talk specifically about NIGEL Dharmlall. NIGEL Dharmlall, the PPP, I have to turn on my AC, it's hot in here, these lights. But NIGEL Dharmlall lied last night to the people, claimed that when he made the dildo comment, he was talking to Sherrod Duncan. Well, you heard Sherrod tonight, confirming that he was not even in the Parliament chamber when NIGEL Dharmlall made these comments. So he lied, and he is caught on tape line. These people have no integrity, they have no decency, And that's who we got for government in Guyana. Share the link, keep sharing this link, and we'll be back. I'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, so as you know, NIGEL Dharmlall is the Minister of Local Government in Guyana, installed PPP local government minister. He made a statement in Parliament last week. I'm not sure if I have that statement. I don't think I do. But he basically said that a member of Parliament, a female opposition member of Parliament, should go and find a dildo. He was not rebuked by the speaker. He was not rebuked by the government. He made this comment. And then he got back his visa. Remember, he was accused of raping an Amerindian girl and whatever. The US government revoked his visa. Got back his visa. He's now a big minister, right? Sarah Lynch is there, right? She's a part of the PPP cabinet. So he got back his visa. And he came as part of this government team to celebrate in the diaspora Guyana's 52nd Republic anniversary. And they came to Brooklyn last night. And of course, there was a big protest. We protested against them. You know, first of all, they tried to get the NYPD to stop the protest. That's the absolute truth. They tried to get this, because we advertised it, they got scared, and they tried to get the police to stop the protest. One of my police sources told me that. Then they were asking the police to move us from in front of the church, stop us from using the bullhorn, put us across the street. So one police officer was trying to tell us, well, we can't protest there. They put up barricades. We went over the barricades. They're trying that nonsense in New York City. Have you guys ever seen a Black Lives Matter protest in New York City? Some guys from Black Lives Matter will just throw away those barricades. We don't do that. We just go around the barricades. But I don't know what they told the police. It's black people, right? Black people from Brooklyn. So black people are supposed to be animals and hooligans and criminals. So why are you coming here? Why are you coming to Brooklyn if that's how you think of black people? And they're coming to Brooklyn with this nonsense, proving how racist they are and how they profile and stereotype black people. Gotta tell the police what to do. And we stood up there and watched them try to give instructions to the police. Right? We stood up there and watched them tried to give instructions to the police. And we had to laugh. And we had to tell the police, well, you know, they had a senior rank there, but it was not a really senior, they had a sergeant or something there. There were lots of police officers, but they didn't have a commander and a deputy commander there at the time when this thing started. So they were telling the police, so after the police put up barricades, we told them, well, listen, we're gonna go inside the church and protest, right? So they got scared. And they tell the police, well, only invitees are allowed to come. Well, it's supposed to be a public meeting. They put it on the internet, they put it out in emails. It's a public event. But they're scared of us going in. They're frightened we bad, you know. All the money. They're scared that we would go in the meeting. So they asked the police to stop us from going in the meeting. So when the deputy commander came, the captain came, the captain told him that's not the police function. The police function is not to check to see who got invitation. That's your job. And it's a public event. So you can't stop people from going to the event. That's what the police told them. So if we wanted to go into the event, we could have gone. It's a public event. You cannot stop anybody from going into a public event in New York City. We have something here called the rule of law. And police are supposed to obey the rule of law. Now, one of the people, the organizers from the event, knows some of the police officers because that person is a community leader. So they recruited one of the community leaders from Brooklyn to try to organize this event and try to tell the police what to do. And they got busted. Right? The captain said, no, we're doing that. I was standing right there. I was standing right there. Because if they had done anything, the police commissioner would have had to have gotten involved. And we know that the police can't breach the law. The organizer of the conference has this, sorry, the protesters have the same rights as the organizers of the conference. And it's a public event. You cannot stop people from going to a public event. So what y'all think they do? They lock the door. So the three people who came after they locked the door had to turn back. One man came with a young guy, came from Queens or somewhere, with his wife and his kid. And they had to turn back and go in the car and drive home because they locked the door. Other than that, nobody went to the event. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. I saw they put out some pictures. Most of the people, well, when I say nobody from the Brooklyn community, most of the people who were there were consulate staff. They had a handful of people there. All of them are from either the Guyana mission to the UN or the Guyana consulate staff. And then they had a journalist. That journalist walked with somebody else. And they had two other persons from the media and one person from the community. That's it. That's it. In a hall that could hold 500 people. That's it. So nobody went to the event. Brooklyn people completely rejected them. But when they were leaving, I asked Dharmlall, Nigel Dharmlall, about the comment he made. Right? I asked him about the comment he made. And I asked him to apologize to the women who were there and the women of the diaspora. And this is what he said.
A plastic bag with an instrument inside. I don't know what it was. I'm telling you, I have a dildo for your sister. What would you do? My sister died of ovarian cancer 11 years ago. That's what. And you know what my retort was? Body dildo. Because they were saying.
But you're in Parliament. But you're in Parliament. The forum that you want. The forum. Hold on. He's talking.
And what I've done, I've apologized to Parliament as well.
Okay. So would you apologize to the women in Brooklyn now?
I apologize to the Parliament. So,
What?
listen, I can speak for
Hold on. Nigel, would you apologize to the people of Brooklyn now that you did that in the parliament? The guy, these women looking at you now. That you told a woman.
I just told you. I did not speak to a woman. I was speaking to Sherrod Duncan, who was not in his seat. No, he was not in the floor. He was not in his seat.
But do you think that was parliamentary decorum? Do you think that was parliamentary decorum?
What?
Saying that.
You have to understand. All of us are.
You have to understand, all of us. Listen. First of all, Sherrod Duncan has said he was not even in the parliament. Sherrod was not even in the parliament. Keep sharing the link. Everybody share the link. Sherrod is not in the parliament. Sherrod was not in the chamber where the speaking takes place. Sherrod was not there. He was not. Sherrod was in the members' lounge. And after Sherrod heard his vulgarity, that's when Sherrod walked into the chamber and challenged him. And the speaker suspended Sherrod. This low, dumb, lewd, dirty, stupid, uneducated, lack of knowledge, don't understand anything about parliamentary procedure speaker didn't do anything to Dharmlall. He can't do anything to Dharmlall. Them Bible running out the road. Right? He can't do that to the PPP. The PPP has a history. Ask Sasha. Well, you can't ask him. Ask Sasha family. He can't do that to Dharmlall. Right? Because them by go movie as a speaker and start to harass him, function tire, do all kind of thing to him. So he suspended Sherrod. He has done nothing to Nigel Dharmlall. Nothing. Nothing. He has not been reprimanded. Nothing. A minister of the government stood up in parliament and told a female MP to go and get a dildo. Well, last night the people started to chant Dharmlall little do. They said Dharmlall has a little do, so he's fascinated with a dildo. I don't know. That's not my kind of language. What I am saying is, as a minister of the government, you cannot behave like that. That is what you're teaching the little children who are watching the parliamentary proceeding. That's what we're teaching them. And then you come to the United States, where elected officials and public officials are held to a very high standard. And you can't even apologize. He's talking about his sister died from cancer. What has that to do with cheese in Scotland? Your sister died from cancer. That's regrettable. We're all human beings, and we sympathize with him. But his sister died 11 years ago. And in any case, nobody in parliament told him about his sister. He's making up this story to get sympathy. I spoke to 4 female members of parliament. Nobody talked to the man about his sister. Nobody had no plastic bag. He said somebody hold up a plastic bag with a dildo. What female MP worth her salt would walk with a plastic bag with a dildo in parliament? What nonsense is Nigel Dharmlall trying to tell us? Who does he think believe that's that nonsense? But the fact of the matter is that he had an opportunity last night to apologize. In America, politicians do something wrong, they fall at the mercies of the people who elected them. And they apologize and they apologize and they apologize. Dharmlall said he don't have anything to apologize for because he apologized already. So even the women who were watching on that live last night, he didn't have anything to apologize to them for. Even the women who were standing there last night protesting, he doesn't have anything to apologize for. He has no sense of decency. And I ask him particularly if he thinks that his conduct demonstrated parliamentary decorum. He said all of us are human beings. Yes, we are. And all of us make mistakes. But when we make mistakes, we have to be held accountable. And we have to take responsibility. It is called personal responsibility. You can't be a minister of the government and don't have personal responsibility and don't demonstrate personal responsibility. After you committed such an atrocious act, such a lewd and vulgar, lawless act against a woman, it was abusive, misogynistic, sexist, and he refuses to apologize. And nobody in the PPP could repudiate this man. Nobody has said anything. The PPP has no standards. PPP government has no values. Them is the people representing Guyana in the International Committee. Them stink, dirty, lewd, vulgar, lawless, coarse, uncivilized people. And then the Prime Minister standing up right there. The so-called Prime Minister. Listen, I don't have anything personal against Mark Phillips. Mark Phillips is a nice man. I mean, he's just a house slave. He's allowing the racists to use him to present a black face to say that the government is not racist. And he walked away. He and I realized that I'm not lying. And he didn't stand there, he walked away. All he said is listen to what he's saying. And he gone. He don't even want to hear what Dharmlall had to say because he walked away. Because he knows what Dharmlall was saying was stupidness. You make the first thing you will do is say, it was a mistake. I got upset, I got angry, I was frustrated, and I said it, I should not have said it. That's it, simple as that, as a man. He's a big man, stand up in parliament where little children probably looking at the proceedings. Other women from your own party. And you talking about dildo. You don't even have respect for the people in his party. And the women in his party don't have respect for themselves. Let's hear him again.
A plastic bag with an instrument inside. I don't know what it was. I'm telling you, I have a dildo for your sister, what would you do? My sister died of ovarian cancer. 11.
Nobody had a plastic bag. He made it up. Nobody told him about his sister. Which MP in their right mind will tell a fellow MP, a colleague, about the dead sister? It doesn't make any sense. Nobody has seen it. Nobody else can hear it. NIGEL Dharmlall alone see a plastic bag. Presumably with a dildo inside, he's implying that. Because he said he don't know is what. So this MP allegedly held up a plastic bag. He's implying in that bag was a dildo and said this is for your sister. He didn't say, Mr. Speaker, this MP is attacking my dead sister. He didn't say that. Why? It is not true. He made it up. He didn't say, Mr. Speaker, this MP is waving a vulgar sex toy in front of me, and I would like to call for regular order. He didn't do that. Why? It is not true. He made that up. Even Cheryl was there. He didn't say, Mr. Speaker, Cheryl Duncan was doing X, Y, and Z to disturb my speech. He didn't do it. Why? It's a lie. Cheryl was not there. And by the way, if he was so eager to defend himself, why didn't he call the name of the MP that had the plastic bag? Why didn't he call the name of the MP who said something about his sister? Why did he do that? Why? It is a lie. No MP said anything about his sister. No MP held the plastic bag up. No MP told him anything about a dildo. He is just a nasty, lewd, vulgar guy who thinks the first thing that comes to his mouth to insult a woman is to insinuate something sexual. Misogynistic. He's vulgar and dirty, lewd, crass, disgusting. And the women of his party, they can't say nothing. They don't have any morality themselves, the women in the PPP. They're just as vulgar and classless as Nigel Dharmlall. Why? Because they're silent. They're silent about Nigel Dharmlall's nasty, vulgar, lewd, sexual comment that is sexually abusive to a woman. They're quiet. They don't have any morality themselves. He doesn't have any respect for them, and they don't have any respect for him. Sorry, for themselves. I cannot imagine if any member of my organization were to stand up and say that to any woman, whether she's in the PPP, the AFC, the APNU, the APNU coalition, whatever. That person cannot be on my board anymore, on the board of any organization, or they have to apologize and withdraw those comments. He didn't even withdraw the comment. He made some kind of excuse in Parliament that does not constitute a proper apology. And even if he had apologized in Parliament, what is wrong with apologizing again? Now you come to people in the diaspora. And Guyanese people are there protesting and objecting to you telling a member of Parliament, go get a dildo. That's like going to tell a woman, go F herself. That's exactly what he was telling the parliamentarian. What is wrong with you apologizing again? But he's so classless and lacking in morality and any sense of dignity and decency. He refused to apologize. If he was in Trinidad, he would have had to resign. Barbados, he would have had to resign. Any other Caribbean country, he would have had to resign. In the United States, his entire professional career would have been ended. He would have had to retire and live off of his pension and become a consultant and sit in a home office doing stuff. Instead, PP government has given him a visa. And he's flying internationally, going around the world representing the country. That's the best Guyana has to offer. A lewd, vulgar, nasty, lawless guy who's abusive to women and who's refused to apologize, who doesn't even have a sense of decency, any dignity to say, I messed up, I'm sorry. I regret that I did that. I should not have done it. I lost my temper. He doesn't have any decency. It is even indecent to invoke the name of your dead sister to try to defend yourself of a defenseless, classless, vulgar, lewd, lascivious act. Well, not lascivious, lewd, nasty, indecent, uncivilized. How are you going to invoke the name of your dead sister to get sympathy? Classless, classless. And like I said again, I've had close family members who died. I understand that. My mother died when I was 16. My father died when I was 17. I can't invoke them into my political misfortunes to try to gain sympathy. What is that? That in itself is classless. And then to accuse a member of parliament of telling him these things, making up this stuff, fabricating it, just to sound good, just to get sympathy. Don't make no damn sense. Does not make any sense. So I just wanted to come on tonight to say that. And again, I in terms of the protest, listen, we even had a Jamaican pastor who saw the promo of the protest on social media and came by to show solidarity with the Black people in Guyana who are being subjugated, marginalized, discriminated against by racist members of the PPP administration. A Nigerian bishop also dropped by. The message of PPP racism is resonating. And we have to keep going. We have to keep fighting them until there's equality or until they leave government. We push them and we get rid of them from the government. We have to stop them from the fraud of transferring Guyana's wealth to their ethnic supporters, to themselves, and to their families. They're thieving out all the gas, the oil and gas money. And what they're doing is through procurement fraud, catching all their family and friends and ethnic supporters and giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in government contracts. And all of these people are giving contracts to PPP East Indian supporters. Let's face the facts, that's what they're doing. A contractor told me he has all his equipment, he's a road contractor. Not since the PPP came to government power, not one contract to build a road or subcontract, not one. He has all the equipment. But they're giving PPP supporters in Queens one man who runs cash registers. He got $100 million contract to build a road in Essequibo. 100 million taxpayer dollars. Never built a road yet. He's not a contractor. He now starting a company. Then he can subcontract that to somebody else. That's what's going on in Guyana. They're transferring the country's wealth to Indians who support them. They have divided Guyana into two Guyanas, one for East Indian, PPP East Indians, and one for Black people and everybody else. That's a fact. They confirmed that in the Republican anniversary celebration. They had a celebration for themselves. They didn't even invite the leaders of the Black community or the political representatives of the Black community. They didn't do that. Black people, their concept of inclusive governance is to collect 1 or 2 Black people who support them, or 1 or 2 Black people they could pay as entertainers or whatever, put them to perform. I said, yes, it was inclusive. That's not what equitable governance is. Equitable governance is people receiving the service of the government equitably, and the government the country's resources are divided equitably, and all of the people are benefiting equitably from the wealth of the country. That's not what the PP is doing. And like I always say, is either we have one Guyana or no Guyana. You figure what it means. No Guyana. If we can't have a Guyana where everybody benefits, then there ain't gonna be no Guyana. Because the people should not sit down and allow PPP to transfer all the wealth of the country to themselves and to their East Indian supporters and leave Amerindians out in the cold and Black people out in the cold. And the East Indians who don't support them out in the cold. No, we have to decide what's going to happen with the country. It's going to become a failed state. because they ain't got no sense to nobody else, and they alone don't know how to spend money. And it is time the black contractors all come together and form some sort of organization to represent themselves so they can't split y'all up. Where they take one contract and give a black man for $300 million to build schools in London, and then they give $400 billion in contracts to East Indians. That is a fact. That is the attitude of a colonizer that is trying to render black people second-class citizens in our own country. And when we talk about resisting these kinds of things, oh, you're trying to spread racial hostility. It is the racist policies and practices of the PPP government that has divided the country. And that's what we're talking about. And we're going to stop your racism. Because if we really can't have one Guyana, if we can't have a Guyana where everybody benefiting from, then Guyana will have to be a failed state. There ain't gonna be no Guyana. Simple as that. So, and the people of Guyana, stand up and represent yourself and stop having these racists run around the country talking about, oh, everybody live in love and harmony. When black people can't even get a job, black businesses not getting any business from the government, black people ain't getting no contract, black contractors ain't getting no contract. There's not one black company benefiting from any oil and gas contract or anything to do in oil and gas in Guyana. Not one company. Not one. Name that one. I challenge the government. Name one black contractor that the government has contracted to perform a service in the oil and gas sector. Imagine that. We're a country of almost an even population when it comes to the two main races. And the PPP has one race, their East Indian supporters, benefiting from the hundreds of billions of dollars that the country is earning from its oil and gas. And then Orphan Ali and Barjagbe stand up there telling us nonsense about one Guyana. Show that nonsense through the window about one year, one Guyana policy. One Guyana will happen when there's equitable governance. When all of the people of Guyana, black, Indian, Amerindian, mixed race, everybody, Chinese, European, Portuguese, are benefiting equally from the resources of the country. And this message is not going to stop. We're going to shout it to everywhere in the world how racist the government is until the international community gets the message and starts to isolate the racists like they did to the racists in South Africa. That's our mission. That's our mission in the diaspora. That's our mission in the diaspora. And that should be the mission of every Guyanese. So that's the message I want to leave tonight. Like I said, I want to do a full hour. Everybody got things to do this Friday night. That's my message. Equitable governance. Guyanese, stand up and fight for equitable governance. How are we gonna have sheriff security or whoever security? All East Indian companies benefiting. And you guys are quiet and asking questions about the diaspora? Look at the mirror and ask yourself if that's the country you want. Look at the mirror and ask yourself if that is the country you want. Ask yourself if you want to be enslaved by racist PPP members. Ask yourself if you want to be colonized by Barjagbe and Orphan Ali. That's what they're doing. They're trying to make black people into slaves and second-class citizens. Well, if you're a second-class citizen, as far as I'm concerned, you're a slave. Subjugate your rights. You already can't even protest against them. Stand up for your rights. African Guyanese, stand up for your rights. Demand contracts. Demand shares in the oil and gas. Form a company and demand contracts. Form an association of business people, business owners and contractors, and demand contracts. This country don't belong to PPP and East Indians alone. PPP East Indians meaning the East Indians who support the PPP, because those are the only people who are benefiting. There are East Indians who don't support them that they're also shutting out. And Amerindians who don't support them that they're also shutting out. And together those people make up the majority of the country. The PPP doesn't have the support of the full country, of half the country. And even though they cheated the elections, though they win by 1 seat in the parliament, 1 seat, 15,000 votes. 1 seat. Imagine they have 1 seat in the parliament. And them and their own little ethnic clique want to run the country, want to use all the country's money, want to transfer the country's wealth into their bank accounts. That's what they're doing. Look, Guyana belongs to everybody. And if everybody can benefit, there ain't gonna be no Guyana. Guyana's be going, mark my words, the country is going to be a failed state again. Every time the PPP comes to government, Guyana becomes a failed, drug-infested, corrupt, racist state. We must prevent that from happening. Good night, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. COVID is still around. Stay safe.